Hello and welcome to Tech Magnifier. You're watching an exclusive interview with the Vice President of Xiaomi, Mr. Hugo Barra. So, is that the Mi Band?
This is the Mi Band, yes.
So when we're going to see it in India?
We haven't announced a date yet because we're still certifying it and testing the software.
Okay.
The thing about the software for Mi Band is that it actually looks at specific types of food as well, so that you can actually understand sort of your health in a kind of 360-degree way. So we have to add all the Indian foods to the software before it's ready for launch here.
Okay. So today we have launched the Red Mi1s. What really happened to the Mi3? I mean, people were really excited. We were really excited about the launch, and out of a blue moon, it was out of stock. And people started saying that, is it something like God that we really admire? It's so great, but we don't really get to see it.
Mi3 Ganesh. Mi3 has been a really important lesson for us because, first and foremost, it showed us that the market here is potentially much larger than we ever dreamed it could be. Truly, we dramatically underestimated demand.
Okay.
But secondly, the experience with Mi3 has been very interesting because customers have been very vocal about what they like and what they don't like, right? And they've shown us things like, if you're going to launch a phone on e-commerce, you better make sure that the customer can buy a screen protector with that phone or a protective case with that phone, because people here consider those accessories as essential for that investment that they're making. It makes logical sense. It's just that we didn't think that it was going to be so significant, right? So we've learned a lot of lessons with Mi3, which of course we'll continue to sell, but we're really applying all of those lessons to every new model that we launch, of course, starting next week with Redmi 1S.
But don't you think, apart from the accessories, it's the phone that should be available first on the e-commerce website?
What do you mean?
Apart from the accessories, is it not the phone that should be available in good quantity?
In large quantities, yeah. So the short answer is, of course, you should have quantities to enable people to buy, but you have to be careful, right? Because we're just entering the market. We've been here for less than 2 months, right? If you consider our sort of public knowledge, but we've been here for like 4 months as far as assembling the team and so on and so forth. So not very long. We know very little about this market. We know very little about exactly what are the types of issues, queries that people are going to have. Of course, we don't have a super large service network yet, which we have to develop, and it takes time. So it's actually very important for a brand like us, who is new to the market, who people haven't heard about, and who are selling one of the most personal things that you can buy, which is a phone, to be really careful. Right? So coming in and slowly so that you can learn about the market and then quickly adjust your approach is actually very important. Imagine if we launched 100,000 devices in the first week, right? And there was one particular issue with that device. Maybe not a problem, but something that led people to complain. Imagine what it would be like compared to launching maybe 10,000 the first week, seeing what happens, acting on those issues, which perhaps requires like communicating on Facebook that you should do it this way, not that way, right? Or training customer service on a new issue that we didn't predict, and making sure that they know how to respond to that, and then ramping.
Talking about the Facebook page.
That's what we want to do.
Okay. So talking about the Facebook page, was it converted to unofficial page just recently? Because earlier when we landed on the page, it was saying that it is an official Xiaomi page, the Mi page, Mi3. So has it been converted to unofficial page recently?
I think you may have been looking at a fan site. There are many Xiaomi and Mi fan sites here in India. There's only one official page, which is Mi India.
Is it still there?
Of course, I mean, that's our main page. That's where all of our user communications happen.
Yes.
And the way to tell is just look at the number of followers. The official Mi India page has about 45,000 going to 50,000 users today. And all the other fan sites, which of course we support, they're fan sites. They have a lot less.
Okay. So it's like you have been giving control stock in the market, and it's not a production glitch or something. It's just a controlled stock that you've been putting in the market.
I wouldn't call it controlled stock. I would call it a bad forecast. Right? A few months ago, we estimated how many devices we were going to make for India, for Mi3 to start, right? What are we going to make in the first month, what are we going to make in the second month, the third month, and so on and so forth. And we made those devices, right? We of course delivered on the forecast. But we can't just say, actually, we need 50,000 more for next month, right? It's not that easy because all of our factories are booked up, right? They're booked up. Like we don't have idle capacity available, right? So we have to book factory capacity in the future so that we can address the demand. The other thing that we also cannot do is we cannot shift devices from, let's say, Malaysia or Taiwan or Hong Kong or Singapore to India because the devices are actually physically different. The antenna for India is physically different. And there are several tweaks, both at the hardware and the software level, that prevent us from saying, oh, let's take 10,000 from here and put them here instead. We can do that in certain countries, for example, from Singapore to Malaysia, where even the power adapter is the same. But we can't do that from, for example, Malaysia or Singapore to India because there are physical differences in the device.
Yeah, because there are voltage differences, there are band, the GSM
It's primarily to do with the network
GSM band
frequencies,
yeah.
the GSM bands,
3G band.
but also things to do with fine tunes like the TIS and TRP parameters that have to do with antenna tuning and so on and so forth. They're different. That's why if we were to bring a device from, let's say, Singapore, Malaysia, and run it here in India, it would work, but it wouldn't work as well. You wouldn't have as fast download speeds, maybe voice calls and so forth. It wouldn't be as good as the tuned version. Right? That's why we have these constraints.
So what now with the Redmi 1S? Is it the control stock?
Redmi
yeah. 1S.
Redmi 1S. Yes.
Is it Redmi 1S on the right track regarding the stock?
So Redmi 1S is a device where we believe, based on our forecast and based on the factory reality, that we can actually ramp faster. So we have a much more aggressive forecast for Redmi. We will also start slow for the reasons that I explained earlier. Right? We have to be careful. We have to make sure that we assess the market first. Are there any problems that we did not foresee? Can we react and fix those issues quickly before we ramp? But as soon as we feel like the device is working great and it's a beautiful product, it works very, very well. But as soon as we are 100% confident that everything is great, then we ramp.
So, and the next question is very interesting. It's about the price. So initially we saw on Flipkart that the price was 7,000 rupees. But today suddenly we see the price is 6,000. People are gonna get at 6,000 rupees. So how did that price get happen?
So a couple of different reasons. First of all, we revisited our cost structure for the device. Right, this device has been available. Redmi 1S has been in manufacturing for a few months now, and it follows a device that was very similar, which was Redmi, that has been in manufacturing since last year. But Redmi 1S has only been in manufacturing for a few months, but the production is ramping for it. Component costs are, of course, continuing to drop. So we took a really close look at the bill of materials, the BOM for the device, and said, can we maybe? And the answer was, maybe we can. Right? So we're squeezing it really, really tightly. But because the cost structure is falling, we can actually lower the cost. Right? That's one thing. The second thing to say is that consider our costs here, right? Our actual distribution costs. We're selling on Flipkart. We're not buying any media. We don't have any distributors. We don't have any retail margins in physical retail and so on. Right? E-commerce margins are very small. So our cost of selling this device is actually very, very small. There is no doubt we would not be able to sell Redmi 1S at 5,999 in offline retail. Not even close. Right? So what we do is, this is an e-commerce only price. And because we're an e-commerce only company, that's actually okay. Right? It also gives you some insight into the real pricing reality of the entire industry, right? Pricing in our industry is designed for retail. It's not designed for e-commerce. Well, we are a company that designs and prices for e-commerce. Does that make sense?
Yep. So if it takes off, it takes off. If it does not, then it does not. Because your margins are already very squeezed out.
That's
and you have expected a number of units to be sold in the market. So if that number gets sold, only that the pricing is satisfied. I mean, it's the pricing that you've done is...
We're not losing money on this, right? We are just making very, very, very little money. Of course, we have certain expectations around volume, but because we do have the benefits of a larger supply chain behind us, meaning we're not only in India, we're in Greater China, we're in Southeast Asia, and so on and so forth, right? Okay. This is part of a production plan for 7 markets, right? Not just 1 market. So from point of view of volume, capacity, and so on and so forth, we do have the benefit of being able to make the same device, with a few differences, of course, but making the same device across all these markets. So there's economies of scale that benefit us, right? So if our ramp is a little bit faster or slower here in India, it's not really going to affect our margins.
Okay. And it's also because of the step down from Dragon Trail to, sorry, it's step down from the Corning Gorilla Glass to Dragon Trail.
It's not a step down. It's a side step.
Okay.
And this is something that I think we have to educate, the consumers, certainly here in India and other markets. Of course, Corning Gorilla Glass is a household name, right? It's what people have been talking about for a long time. Right. And I actually wonder exactly how far that goes back, and in fact, who's responsible for really making Corning so famous for this. But AGC is an amazing manufacturer. They're a Japanese company, right? We know Japanese companies produce very, very high quality components. Some of the highest quality components, like most of the high quality camera sensors are made by a Japanese manufacturer, and many other components are made by a Japanese manufacturer, right? So Dragon Trail is a Japanese made screen. And it's extremely high quality. You can actually go online and you can look at comparisons between them, and it's actually pretty amazing.
You can try and scratch this.
we can even do the scratch test, right? I have, a pretty sharp pair of scissors here, right? This is I don't know, is this steel? I don't know what kind of metal this is, but you can try really hard to scratch it, and nothing happens. See, it's totally fine. If you tried it with the diamond ring, maybe it would be different, but because that's the hardest material there is. But in most sort of normal circumstances with car keys and things that are in the bag and so on and so forth, we expect that people are not going to experience serious scratching issues. And then if you're worried, for example, about fingerprints or anything like that, you can get a screen protector. Right, we are on day 1 going to be selling 2 types of screen protectors: a clear screen protector that sort of feels like the screen, it's kind of shiny, and a matte screen protector, which is obviously doesn't reflect as much light, and also will not show fingerprints nearly as much. So if you like that, of course, your screen is going to be even better.
Okay. Another issue with the Mi3 was the SIM card slot. So. Has that been rectified on this phone? So we had people trying to use a micro SIM card with a SIM card slot that was only designed for Mini. We have another SIM card tray that we tried but didn't manage to ship with the device. Right.
So with Redmi 1S, we will be shipping, maybe not on the first shipment, but certainly from the second shipment on, we will be shipping a little pocket with 2 SIM card adapters, from micro to Mini. So if you have a micro SIM card, or even 2 micro SIM cards, you can just put them in the adapter and then put the adapter in the phone. You should not try to insert a micro SIM card into the Redmi 1S phone slot, because it will not work and it might actually get stuck.
Yeah, right. And
so please help us tell your readers
definitely.
and your audience about that.
So the last and very important question is about the after-sale service of the device. People are not really very confident about the after-sale service of Xiaomi. So what's your take on that?
So first of all, I think our after-sale service quality is actually quite good, but we can obviously make it better. And the way that we are going to make it better is to build what we call exclusive service centers faster. We have 2 today. We have 1 here in Delhi, and we have 1 in Bangalore. Right?
That's what raised questions, because other companies have so many service centers all across India.
And they've had time, right? They've had time to build those.
Definitely.
However, their service centers are nowhere as cool as ours, right? Our service center is not just a place where you can go to repair your phone, right? It's a place where you can go to check out new phones, to check out other devices. For example, if you go to the Bangalore exclusive service center, we have the Mi TV 2 there, right? Which is our 4K smart TV with a soundbar and the subwoofer, and you can play with it. And it's a beautiful device, right? You can go there to flash MIUI on your other phones and do all sorts of things. We're adding 4 more exclusive service centers in the next 1 to 2 months. We're going to have 1 in Gurgaon, so right here near the capital city. We're going to have 1 in Chennai, 1 in Hyderabad, and 1 in Mumbai.
Okay.
right? Just in the next 1 to 2 months. And these are exclusive Mi service centers, right?
Okay.
Only for Mi devices. And then we're going to be adding more of these exclusive service centers over the next few months. And of course, expanding the footprint of what we call multi-brand service centers, which are companies that service multiple different brands of phones, but who are also trained and qualified to repair Mi devices.
Okay. Thank you for talking with us.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
For latest news and reviews of gadgets and games, visit www.techmagnifier.com.